Welcome to the home of the Stearnsy Bears. Since 1981, the Stearns family of Stott City, Missouri has created a simple kind of magic with their teddy bears. It all started as a hobby, an appreciation for precious memories and for the unique. To this day, Stearnsy Bears are made by hand, one at a time. A completed Stearnsy Bear requires as many as 50 hours of hand craftsmanship and loving attention. The result? Something wonderful, a creation of timeless charm that will last for generations.
Well, in the beginning, we were dealing in dolls, and I was attending a doll show in Springfield, Missouri. And one of my friends brought in a bushel basket full of what I would call critters. And I became very interested because I wasn't sure what they were, but one leg was always shorter than the other, and they were so funny. So I purchased some of those from her. I just brought those bears home and dressed them, and the next time I took them to a doll show, there was a great deal of interest in them. My husband began to get interested. Jim began to get interested. And eventually I involved my children. It seemed impossible that we could really begin to make a living making teddy bears, but our collectors began to say, you keep making teddy bears and we'll keep buying them, which they did. My daddy was a preacher, and my mother always told me that I had a God-given imagination. And during the time that I was working on the bears, she'd say, Sally, that idea is from God. But it enabled me to give those bears life and personality. And they were actually people bears. I was always on the lookout for old vintage items. A lot of times it depended on what I had on hand as to what the bear personality would be. It might be a retired school teacher. It might be a granny with old-time religion. A lot of it depended on the clothing that I found. One of the bears I named was Hattie Nicholson because I was able to purchase a hat that actually belonged to her at an estate auction, and she had a little restaurant in Stott City. Another was my own grandparents, O.P. and Sally Bright. Then there was my own father and my mother and some other relatives that were engaged in a prayer meeting. From a historical point, this bear I'm holding is Mary L. Booth, who was the editor of Harper's Bazaar in like 1898. And I researched this, and it became a real personality. And sometimes we would display her with an old Harper's Bazaar or something like that, which made it so realistic. When someone comes into the store, they're mostly very impressed with the wonderful array of bears that we have for sale. And I always like to tell them that not only do we make bears, and unique bears, but we make memories. And when they walk out the door with their bear, they take a memory with them that they can treasure forever.
In 2006, we celebrated 25 years in the teddy bear business. No one's more amazed than we are, since we never planned on being in the teddy bear business at all. I feel confident in saying that if we had planned this, we wouldn't be talking about it here today. We're not naive about the teddy bear business. We understand that people can go anywhere and buy nice quality bears, but what we offer here is more special than that. These are the kind of bears that can turn into family heirlooms. We've been at this long enough that we begin to see our bears handed down from one generation to the next. In the 1980s, our bears were featured on Hallmark cards, calendars, and puzzles. We also worked with American greeting cards. This is the kind of thing that helped us to build our reputation. For 19 years, we never mailed or shipped a bear. You either had to come to Stott City to get a Stearnsy bear or see us at a show. But with the advent of the Internet, it opened up a whole new way for us to sell our bears. It allowed people to see them in real time. We were able to do a bear of a morning, and people all over the country or the world could see it by that afternoon. If you're looking for something unique and one-of-a-kind for your shop, that is what we offer here. 25 years of one-of-a-kind teddy bears means something.
Our commitment is to quality, creativity, and always to build enduring joy, one memory at a time.